Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. This is for the week that ended February 4th, so into the second month of the year now. We were looking for, the rally that started the prior week to extend a little bit. I mean, it sort of did, but wasn't really that convincing. So, yeah, I thought we'd get a much, you know, stronger continuation, but we did have gains in the indices. So S&P was up 1.7%, Nasdaq up 1.9, small caps 1.65%, and the Dow up 1.25% basically. This is a pretty weak bounce, considering that the prior week, Nasdaq was down some like 9%, S&P was down some like 5 or more%. So this didn't even get back, half of what we lost. So it seems like, I don't know, we could be, uh, we could just be in a tough stretch here for the market. I mean, we have been, but it may not let up for a little while. Our mega cap stocks did pretty well this week. We had good reaction from Amazon. They were up 13, 15%, something like that. At one point, post earnings report on Friday, finished up 9.5% for the week. Facebook got smoked. They were down basically an equivalent amount on their earnings, something like 20, 25% on that day, finished down 21% for the week. So a lot of back and forth stuff. I mean, those stocks had also been struggling a lot coming into their prints too. So, the Amazon bounce was big, but is still, appearing to be in a bit of a downtrend, or at best, a flattish sort of pattern that, doesn't really go anywhere. And Facebook, I mean, it seems like they're going to have a lot of work to do to convince investors that, they should be in the stock or continue to stay in it. So, yeah, Apple's been strong though. So, and that's the biggest one of all of them. So maybe there's a bit of a floor on mega cap tech. Given that at least some of them are reacting positively to their earnings coming out. Google also had a big earnings day. They announced a split for later this year. They announced, what else did they announce? Something. I mean, they beat revenues from, like, I don't know. I think estimates were 50 billion or something, and they came in 60 billion. So 10 billion beat on revenues is huge for them. And other than that, everything else has been sort of chopping. Tesla around this 900 level. Netflix has bounced since Ackman came out and said he's got a big position in it. We covered that before. But yeah, so these are getting, it looks like investors get a little more selective between even the mega cap tech stocks. They're not all moving as one anymore. So that sort of can make for choppier indices, given that, if they all pull one direction, then, index has no choice. But if they're going all over the place, there's more room for range in the indices. I'll go to industries. Week to date, the breadth was okay. Most of the sectors were up. Some of that oversold bounce following through. As far as subsectors, you'd expect more sectors to be up over 5%. So we have 15 or 16 sectors up 5%. I mean, good on on any normal week. That would be would be okay. But given that the market's so oversold and we were sort of trying to put together a bounce, you would expect or you would hope that there would be more of these sectors that were putting in big moves. Um, Although on the downside, we didn't have much. So anything that was down wasn't following through that hard, on a subsector basis. But there also wasn't much commitment on the top end either. So market is kind of at a little bit of a decision point here as far as um, what it's going to look like for the coming week and even probably the rest of the month. Um, I'll jump into Screener to check out intelligence. So for this coming week, we have tech rated bullish, so that's ROM and TQQQ, as well as small caps. So TNA is the Russell, and Hibble high beta is also, those are more Russell type names, like regional banks, oil and gas, small oil and gas companies and stuff like that. They all fall under sort of this high beta category. And then SVXY, so maybe a compression of volatility, would be good overall for the market, although maybe we won't see that right away. But by the end of the week, possibly, we'd see volatility ease off. Okay, so let's invert this screen. Okay. And what do we have here? This is okay, so grains, is that grains? Yeah, grains rated bearish. Mid or short mid caps rated bearish. Short Russell rated bearish. Don't know what this FCO is. And UVXY rated bearish. So, mid caps, small caps overall should be bullish. We have the TNA and the Hibble on rated bullish, and then their sort of inverse counterparts are rated bearish. So it should be pretty solid. Our oversold signal. So we had these two oversold signals. The one from the 19th expired on Wednesday, so that would have been 10 days after this January 19th. I think that ended up being a failed signal because S&P and the Nasdaq were still down from those levels. So, if you, and this is the one that Stocklabs will count as, for the backtest statistics. Now we were oversold still on the 20th. That signal, I think the market closed around these January 20th levels by Friday. So, or by Thursday, which is when this signal sort of expired. So, we had one if you count them both, one failed, and then one was basically flat. So, it's not that encouraging that these oversold signals aren't producing the types of bounces that we would expect. And that's why the general stance of the market still appears to be more of liquidation type action. Rallies are being sold, and they're being sold faster than dips are being bought. So we had another day of oversold on the 26th, so we'll see where we're at 10 days after that. And I think 10 days after that, that should be this Friday or the following Monday, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, we're sort of in a little bit of a, like I said, it's a tough spot for the market. The rallies haven't stuck. The indices are really loose. It seems like there's not a lot of, it's almost, if you look at something like the futures market, it seems like there's not a lot of liquidity as far as, on the trading side. So that could mean that the real money is waiting still till, better prices or lower prices to commit capital. So I would expect that this week is going to be also a little bit tough. I think it's just based on how the bounce for the whole week ended up not being that strong. And then on Friday, and this is kind of getting into minutia, but the very end of Friday toward the close, the S&P and the NASDAQ, they sort of just gave up almost, they gave up, they weren't even interested in holding, the levels that they had gotten to. So you saw some flushes on the close. I would think that probably the week is going to start choppy to down, and then depending on the reaction, maybe we hold the prior lows and start moving up, or if those lows break, then we'd be looking at more downside, which is unfortunate. But the start of the year has not been friendly to playing the long side. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. You can see breadth across the top. So even on a day, this is this is the end of the day Friday. So by Friday, like TerraCap breadth was under 50% on a day that Amazon was ripping. A lot of those large tech companies, they should have been seeing some sympathy moves higher, but really kind of a soft day, all things considered. Even though the indices were positive for a lot of the day, into the afternoon. Right. So February seasonality is also not really on our side. It's more of a flat-ish month, uneventful month. So I'd be looking for some chopped downside followed by another rally. Hopefully a more committal rally than what we saw this week for the second week of February. We also held a live stream for the close on Friday from 3 to 4 on this channel. There were some audio problems because I couldn't figure out how to get the interface to recognize my microphone, but I think I have it sorted out now. So we'll be doing those I want to say we're going to try and do them. I'm going to try and do them pretty regularly. So, certain days of the week, maybe mostly Fridays, I'll go live for closing bell. We'll look through some stuff in Stocklabs, what's moving, what's not moving, how everything looks. And we have free trial links in the description of this video or any video. You can check out other videos for topics that are topics of features that are in Stocklabs. And we'll see you in Stocklabs. Talk to you later.